All right, welcome to episode 69 of the Career Warrior podcast. Today we're going to talk about things that employers hate seeing on resumes. And this should be a fun one. I'll keep it short, sweet, to the point. Don't want to give you a lot of negativity and a lot of things to worry about. That's not really the goal here. But I do think it is important to have some awareness of what might turn off employers in the job search. In fact, this may be one of the things that's holding you back from getting more interviews. Let's launch right into it. This is a mini-sode, so we'll keep it under 10 minutes. Now, a quick note here. I do realize, and you should also realize, that resumes are a subjective thing. One employer may love that little squiggly line that you put at the top. Another might say, what the heck? I am basing this off of my experience as a resume writer and the best practices that my company, Let's Eat Grandma, put into place. I also have taken a look at various answers on Quora, which I will post the description. I will post that link in the description. But a lot of these things resonated with me. These are employers marking down and commenting on what they think they do not want to see in a resume. All right. Thing number one, unclear resume content. So this is somewhat of a broad answer here, but this just encapsulates so much here. So unclear resume content basically means where an employer looks at your resume and they have a really tough time finding relevant information for them. It's not targeted. I think that really long resumes fall into this category because it just becomes that much harder to find out if a candidate's qualified. Chunky paragraphs, long lists, etc. All these types of things that make it really tough to know who you are as a candidate. Some really quick fixes that I recommend for all people is to cut your resume down as much as possible. As much as you think that your experience is important, not all of it may be relevant. So every single time you apply for a type of position, make sure you're cutting down your resume to the most relevant content. In fact, I've said it over and over again, the more stuff you include in your resume, the more you're probably watering down your biggest strengths and the things that are going to make you a standout candidate. Bullet points, make sure they are absolutely no longer than 2 lines. I think 2 lines can be a little long too in most cases. So if you have very wordy sentences, you're going to want to make sure that you're cutting these things down so you're short, sweet, and to the point. Another quick comment on design. Design has to do with this as well. Make sure that you have enough white space within your resume that makes it to where your resume is readable and skimmable. Think most employers are going to spend less than 6 seconds on your resume, so you want to make sure that it's skimmable. That's incredibly important. All right, thing number 2 that employers hate seeing on resumes, and this should go without even saying, but typos. Typos, incorrect grammar, spelling mistakes, things like this are a turnoff. And I know, I believe me, I know I've made typos too before. They don't really tell who you are as a professional. Like if I make a typo, that doesn't mean that I am just bad at attention to detail. That means I made a typo. However, you have to think once again that people are trying to find any possible reason to throw a resume in the trash, and a typo is without a doubt an easy indicator for some people. So my recommendation to you is not only to read your resume over and over again, but to actually print it out like on a piece of paper, because you'll be able to catch typos so much easier. I don't know what it is. It's just the psychology of printing stuff out. But make sure you go through your resume and you're not only giving it a pass to make sure that the information is easy to read, but you give it another 2 or 3 passes after that to make sure that there are no typos. Okay, thing number 3 is inconsistency on resumes versus LinkedIn. And I threw this one in there because it's a little bit of an oddball one, and I think this is a good one to address. Let's be real. An employer, if they're interested in you, at least somewhat, they're probably going to stalk you on social media, and LinkedIn is the easiest and best way to do this. I always recommend people have their LinkedIns on par. So make sure that you update your LinkedIn as much or possibly even more than your resume to make sure it's on point. You're going to want to make sure that your resume has, in general, the same content as your LinkedIn profile. No one wants to see a chameleon that looks completely different. Yes, I do believe that resumes are a chance to get shorter, more targeted, and apply for specific positions. and LinkedIn's are general and more broad, but you do want to make sure that there is consistency and you do see the same type of professional. All right, thing number 4 on things that employers hate to see in resumes: skills that you can't back up. And this is one that they probably won't realize until the interview stage, or yikes, should I say, after you're employed. But these are skills that you put on your resume because you know it's going to pass applicant tracking systems. It's going to get the keywords in there, but you can't back that up with actual substance. So let's say that you know MailChimp is a necessary requirement for a marketing position that you're applying for, and you dabbled with it once or twice, and you decide to put it on your resume. I don't recommend doing that, and that's just because an employer can easily ask you, hey, I see you have MailChimp on your resume. Tell me about your experience. And okay, fine if you want to stretch it just a little bit. You know, sometimes people are learning things. And if you do have this serious, true intent to get better at something, I think it's not bad as long as you have at least some significant experience. But make sure you're able to actually answer this in an interview, and make sure that if you're asked to use MailChimp the next day, you have competency. You're not going to completely embarrass yourself by not having that skill set. For some of you, this may come as a shock. Like, why would I ever put something like this on my resume if I don't have the substance to back it up? But believe me, employers see it all the time. People are just putting skills in a keyword section to get the resume noticed. And they will ask you about it in the interview. And this is something that you want to make sure you don't botch. You're just going to waste your time, and you're just going to waste the time of employers as well. All right, so these are 4 things that employers hate to see on resumes. I will post these in the description. Just do a quick audit. It's not going to take much time to fix any of these things. The thing that may take the most time actually might be the first one, an unclear resume. But this is where I recommend sending in your resume for a free review to Let's Eat Grandma. We can give you a quick look over. Highly recommend making sure that you don't have these things in your resume, and you should start to see more results. All right, hope you enjoyed this mini-sode. Hope I was able to get the point across in under 10 minutes here. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Send me a request on LinkedIn. I'm Chris Villanueva, CPRW. Would love to hear from you. All right, Warriors, this was the 69th episode of the Career Warrior Podcast. I will see you on Thursday. And for more on your job search, make sure to check out letseatgrandma.com. That's where you can find our blog, where we post the podcast show notes and so many more articles that will help you in your job search. You can also check out our resume services if you are interested in getting your resume professionally reworked. And please make sure to show us some love by jumping onto iTunes and leaving us a rating. The support from my fellow warriors will show the world how great this podcast is and help other people in their job search. Pay it forward. Thanks, guys, for being true warriors, and thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week.